from the southeast of Austria. I am married, and we do have 3 lovely children. So you can think about my person. My problem was, and a little bit still is, but was mainly I was working as a consultant for renewable energy projects, and I had to retire a few years ago because of my health problems, and they started mainly in 2001. They were burnout in the highest level, depression in the highest level, and problems with the digestion. But burnout and depression, that was really hard. To get a feeling, I couldn't move 3 months in a row. I was laying like a baby in the stomach of a pregnant wife. I couldn't do anything. And after these 3 months, it started to get better, and I wanted to go to the toilet myself, which means 4.5 meters to be there. But it took 2 hours, and I was not able to come back, so it was really hard. It got better after a few months, but it came back again and again, and therefore I had to retire. Also because of my depression, because I had panic attacks. My heart was pumping like a Formula One car. I couldn't sleep. I was tired at the same time and couldn't sleep. It was really hard. And it was also hard for my family. And we spent a lot of money to bring up the health, to come back into business and to bring money into the family, but nothing helped, really nothing. But then Relief came in our life, and it was really fantastic because a short time after starting with Relief, my digestion changed and got better and better, and with that, energy came back. Friends who know me well, they could hardly believe how much my life changed. Then my back pain is gone. I can sleep again that well. My panic attacks are gone. And one morning, my gray and dark gray and black depression clouds I had in and around my head, they were gone. I couldn't believe that, but it was like it was. And I was so happy, and because they didn't come back till now. So they are away. And beside that, maybe it's only not so important, but I lost 17 kilograms of weight, which makes my wife also happy. I'm looking better right now. But the most important thing are really the burnout and the depression. So maybe my children can bring it on the point. They were talking last summer with friends about me, and they said, "Oh, Daddy is back." So if you think about 2001 up to now, that's such emotional words. Daddy is back, and I really feel back. So I don't just Relief. I couldn't believe that at the beginning, but I know it's true, and so we won't stop taking it. Beside that, many things happened in our family, and we know we have found the solution for our health problems, and we are looking forward what will change in the future, what will go on in changing. Yeah. So I hope you could understand me well.
And, of course, that is the most amazing story. And yes, I could understand you perfectly. And
perfect.
I'm so privileged. I feel very privileged to have heard your story. That is just amazing. And, you're right. It's the most important thing is how your kids view you now. Their life, they've got their life back too. It really impacts everybody in the family when depression hits, and it's just amazing. The one thing I didn't catch was when you started Relief. When? How long ago?
Yes, of course. 3 years ago we started with Relief. Yeah.
That's wonderful. And do you share with other people now about Relief?
Of course I do. Of course I do. We can't stop talking about it because we can see what it means for a family to have someone who is very ill to come back to life. It changed the family life, so we had really sad time. I couldn't do anything, and other people do have the same situation. So it would be it would be really, I would be a gangster if I would not talk about that. So I have to. We do. And we are happy to see the reactions with the people.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story. I know you've just taken a bit of time out to share with us today, and we're really grateful, and thank you so much. And
you're well welcome. All the best to you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Horst. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, now I'm going to stay in Europe. I'm going to stay in the UK, and I met a lovely lady at Matt's school this last Saturday. Well, I actually met her at the kick-off event, but then I met her again on Saturday, and we got to know each other a bit better. And she's coming on to share her story. And Gertie, I know you have a totally different angle of coming at Relive because of your redundancy. So would you like to share with everybody just what happened for you and then what other benefits you found because of that?
Of course. Thank you, Leslie. So my name is Gertie, and I live in Berkshire in the UK, which is near Heathrow. So I was made redundant from a very stressful corporate job about a year ago, and I decided I didn't want to go back to anything like that again. I wanted to put myself first, so this is kind of the perfect way to do that, I think. But like many people, I've always been very health conscious. I eat well, I exercise regularly, but I've always been fully aware that our bodies don't get the correct vitamins and nutrients in our diet. So I used to take a lot of vitamin tablets to supplement that. So when Relive was introduced to me only 8 months ago by a friend, I actually said yes straight away because it made sense, and it just meant that I could have one shake instead of a million tablets on a daily basis. Now, because I thought I was actually healthy, I didn't expect any changes at all. So I was absolutely amazed when 48 hours later, I woke up in the morning and I thought, wow, like this was the best sleep I've ever had. I actually wanted to get out of bed. I felt so energized and motivated, and I don't think I can ever remember feeling like that before. But it's absolutely amazing to feel like that every day, every morning. Also, when I look back at the last 8 months, I actually realized that I didn't get hay fever in the summer, which I usually did, and I also saw that I only had a cold and flu once, and bizarrely only lasted 1 day, whereas before I used to get ill every other month. So these are extra benefits that I've seen, which are just fascinating. So it's because of this, I've got my entire family on this, and I just love seeing how it helps their lives as well.
And I know you're just going to go on and on spreading the word and sharing the business opportunity as well as the products with people that you've met.
I can do. So because at first I was quite dubious about the business side of it because I wanted to go corporate, but then I thought to myself, hold on, I've worked my backside off for a corporate company. You know, look at all these business stories I'm hearing about people earning so much money by talking to people, by helping people, and actually, you know, doing something you enjoy at the times you enjoy. And that's when I thought, hold on, why am I not doing this? So literally 6 months ago, I started to see the health benefits for my family as well. And it wasn't actually me going to talk about it to other people. It was other people coming to me saying, wow, I've seen what this has done to you. I've seen what this has done to your family. Tell me about it. And honestly, I really, really look forward to, you know, earning the same money that I used to do on a corporate salary. And I really think that's going to happen very, very soon.
That's absolutely wonderful, Gertie, and we're going to watch your progress. It's going to be fun having you back on when you say, oh.
Relive is a great company. I'm really excited.
Thank you so much for sharing your story for us. We really appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, now I'm going to hop across the pond because we've just shown you that these products and this business work in Austria and they also work in the UK. But now I'm going to go across to Betsy, who's over there in the States. Betsy, would you like to share with everybody your story?
I would love to. Hello, I'm Betsy Ross, and I'm in Mountain View, Arkansas. That's in the Ozarks. And, of course, my relatives in Scotland call it Arkansas because it can't, whatever. That's where I am. And I thought I was healthy, and when I found Relive, I thought, oh, well, it's probably just a powder to take people's money, and I don't. But I'm always open to. I've helped people with their health for years with various things that I found along the way, and I thought, well, I'll find out about it. So then I kept meeting these people and talking to them and hearing their stories, and I said, well, they can't all be lying. So then I started in, and I had lost my job. Actually, I needed a business as well, but I said, well, I better be taking the product. So I started in May of 2006, and I started taking the product, and in 2 weeks, what a difference. I mean, I thought I had felt pretty good before, but my heart palpitations went down. I think that was from the thyroid meds, which I'll talk about in a minute. And I just felt better, a sense of well-being that I said I never felt like this on my vitamin pills all those years. I had all kind of the best Bs and the best Cs and the best multis, and I had, researched and done all this stuff, and I never felt any difference with my vitamin pills. So I thought, wow, there is something to this stuff. Then about 3 months later, I heard Katie Dean on a call. She's from Illinois, and she had talked about her varicose veins. And so I added another product, and my varicose veins got better. My mother had awful varicose veins, and I didn't really want to go that route. And so I got blessed there, and then I went on for another 3 months, so that's 6 months from the time I started, and I went to the health fair to get my thyroid tested, the blood test for my thyroid, because I always get it at the health fair because I can get it there for free. Good Scott does that, Anyway, so I got my blood test, and here it comes out showing I'm taking too much thyroid. 20 years ago this year, my thyroid went goofy, and it was I had to destroy it with that radioactive iodine. And so I really technically have no thyroid gland, and I thought, okay, now wait a minute. The test says I'm taking too much thyroid, and I don't have a thyroid gland. Where in the world is that thyroxine coming from? Well, of course, the doctor has to go by the test, so he cut down my thyroid medication, and I felt better than I did before, and I thought, this is something. So then the next year I went back for the blood test again, because I get it once a year, and here it comes out showing I'm still taking way too much thyroid, but he had already cut me down the year before, so he had to cut me down again, so that's 2 years in a row there. Actually, the last couple months ago, my blood test showed, last November, it showed I was really on the edge of taking too much again. So he cut me down for the third time. This is just wild. I said, this must be awfully powerful nutrition. Anyway, I feel better now than I did. I'm 67 years old, and I feel better than I did when I was 50. But another wonderful thing for me, and maybe even more wonderful than the thyroid situation, was my hands. My hands for 19 years had been cracked and bleeding. I had sores. In fact, this started in 1988, the same year that the Relive company started, but of course I knew nothing about Relive then. So my hands would crack, and I'd have bleeding sores all over them. And I even, when I came over to Scotland there to do my dissertation for music and tried to work on my PhD dissertation, my hands were just, I work in old libraries there, in Edinburgh and so forth, and my hands would just fall apart. And every time I washed them, it hurt awful. And the Royal Infirmary tried to help me. I mean, I went to the Royal Infirmary and they said, well, okay, we don't know what this is. Here's some goop to put on your hands. I mean, they really did. They were so wonderful to try to help me. But I'd put the stuff in the gloves at night, and then in the morning we'd start this whole rigmarole again with the hurting and they still just awful sores. Anyway, in 7 months after starting the Relive, I woke up one morning and I said, somebody has come in the nighttime and chopped my hands off and given me new hands. I mean, I'm staring at my hands right now, and I just thank the Lord every day for Relive, because as a musician and as a pianist, it was horrible. I would bleed on the piano before. I'm not bleeding on the piano anymore, and I can play without, worrying that a crack is going to affect my playing. And you don't play a Scottish harp, by the way, with a crack at the end of your finger either. And it is so wonderful to have new hands. I thank the Lord every day for Relive, and I will never stop taking it.
I'm not surprised, Betsy. And, you have triggered a little memory in me, because I think we met. When you were very new to Relive, we met at International Conference.
I think we did. I think we met at conference.
I remember, just little bits of your story just suddenly brought that memory back. So nice to catch up with you again. That's wonderful. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story. Absolutely amazing.
You're welcome.
Well, now I'm going to stay in the States. I'm going to go to actually a place where Relive is. I believe that's where Sherry is from St. Louis. Sherry, would you like to share what's happened for you with Relive?
Yes, I would love to, Leslie, and thank you for the opportunity. I do live in St. Louis, Missouri, where the world headquarters for Relive International is located 20 minutes from my house. I used to work right down the street, so it's funny, a lot of people here in St. Louis, they've seen the Relive building, but a lot of times people don't know what they do. I was calling on them, and so I was aware that they did scientific research on nutrition, and I was always curious about what that really meant for people using the products. And I'll tell you, once I started hearing more about that, I was blown away with the kind of results I heard that people were getting, and it really got me excited to want to share this with other people. I really wasn't even thinking about my own health at first. I'd always been pretty healthy, but at the age of 40, I was diagnosed with asthma. My internist told me that I would use an inhaler the rest of my life. He said that my breathing was less than half of what a normal person's should be, so he wanted to add a couple more medications. And my first question was, isn't there something else I can do to try to get healthier myself? Because I was really not one to like to take medication, and I certainly wasn't willing to take medication the rest of my life without exploring alternatives. And he just looked at me like I was crazy, and he said, no. I said, you have asthma, you'll have it for the rest of your life, and this is all we can do for you. So that's what I did. I used the inhaler. I refused to take more medication, though, and I had pain in my lung, and I was always short of breath, exhausted. And I was really excited when I heard about Relive. I wasn't thinking about myself until I started hearing people that had great results with asthma. And when I heard that people got off their medication, I was so excited. It gave me the hope I was looking for. And sure enough, that's what happened to me. It was a process. It took my body some months to get strong enough to be able to not have to use that inhaler. But I finally weaned completely off of it, and I have been inhaler-free now for over 5 years. I take no medication for my asthma. And I know that my immune system is so much stronger because I used to get horrible respiratory flus every single year, at least once, sometimes twice. They would really knock me out in bed for a couple of weeks, and then I would cough and hack along for the next 4 to 6 weeks. So it's just a blessing not to have to go through that anymore. I really don't even know what I've avoided because I've been using Relive. I just know that I'm so passionate to want to help other people, and of course the people I thought of first were the people closest to me that I love and care about. And my mom had always been very interested in health and nutrition ever since I was born. And so she'd always been very conscious about taking supplements, very conscious about the way she takes care of herself and how she eats. But even so, at the age of 73, she was diagnosed with a macular hole in her retina. My mom had never been sick with anything her whole life. But the doctor said sometimes that just happens as we age, even when you're healthy. And he told her that there really wasn't a whole lot they could do. There was an option for surgery, but there wasn't a very high success rate with that. So my mom wasn't too thrilled about that option. He said if the hole got bigger, she was going to go blind. So she called me in tears that day, and I was so grateful to know about Relive. I had already met a lot of people that had had the same kind of news about their eyes. So I connected Mom with those people so we could learn from them and learn what they did and what they saw along the way. And same thing happened for her. It gave her hope, because we're trained to think that we go to the doctor and that's where all the options lie. And I did not know that something like a high-powered nutrition that Relive has could really change people's lives like this. So sure enough, my mom said, I'm going to be faithful and consistent to make sure that there's nothing on my end that I missed to get the best results. And a year later, when she went back, the doctor could not find a trace of this macular hole in her retina. And he was very perplexed. He kept looking back and forth at her eyes and her chart, not wondering what in the world happened. So the phone call I got that day, 1 year later, was a very excited mom. And I was just had tears, and I was just so grateful that Relive is doing the work that they're doing and that someone had cared enough to tell me. So I've been very passionate about wanting to get this out to other people. And my very first month, just carving out some intentional part-time hours, working around my full-time job, I ended up earning $1,000 with Relive. And that really blew me away, because I had tried other things from home before, never really put a whole lot of effort into it, only because I didn't have passion for those things. I kind of felt like I just had something to sell, and that just didn't do anything for me. But I really thought the idea made so much sense. I would have loved to have made income, to have time freedom, to get involved in doing things that I'm really passionate about. And all of a sudden I started realizing that I was so passionate to help other people with Relive that maybe this was the thing that I had been praying for my whole life. So I found other people along the way who have had needs. They've been out of work, and one month there was a couple who he had been out of work for over a year, and started getting very interested about how this could help his wife's eyes. And then they took a closer look and thought, we've got so many people we know who could benefit from better health. They started reaching out and sharing, and their first month earned $4,300, and therefore my check went up to $2,000 that month. And that's when it really showed me the power of finding other people who have the same kind of passion to go out and help other people, that we can really make a big difference in ways that we'll probably never even dream of. So I'm very excited about Relive, more excited than ever with the advent of Lunison and the fact that Dr. Galvez chose Relive to work with him. So we've got a lot to look forward to, and I appreciate being able to share.
Okay, I'm not sure where Leslie is. Sherry, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, great. Well, that was I think something just happened with the lines. That was an amazing, amazing story, and I know that there's so many people who will be inspired by that. So thank you so much. I'd like to thank all of our speakers. Today was an exceptional call, just brilliant. I want to thank everybody who took the time to share. Horst, thank you for your amazing story, and Kurti and Sherry and Betsy, thank you so very much. We wish all of you a wonderful rest of the week, and we will be back on next week with Call 69, and Ambassador Amy Thomas will actually be leading the call next week. So anyway, take care, and thanks again. Okay, bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.